Guys, thanks for hopping on. This was just the easiest way to get out some information to everyone, answer any questions that are going on and things like that as we kind of navigate through all the positives we have on the program and people coming back to campus and things like that. And so um, to just kind of knock out, I think the big question right away. I just got done meeting with some of the administrators and doctors and things like that. And as of tomorrow morning, it'll be announced that we are canceling the meet this weekend against Cleveland State and IUPUI. Biggest factor is it's just we have over 60% of the team that is positive right now. And it's just not safe for our people who are negative to nothing to do with COVID, but just to compete in that many events by themselves 2 days in a row and things like that. And I don't want to furthermore set the team back any more than we are right now with the season and what we need to do moving forward. And so we'll be sending stuff out to the parents later today. And then there will be a release tomorrow as we deal with the other teams and their coaches and stuff with their travel arrangements and everything that they had planned for the meet. But we will be canceling this weekend. Next weekend is a go. So the Southern Illinois Green Bay meet is a go. Green Bay will still be our senior day event on Saturday. And so that's still a go. And spectators are still allowed at the competitions with the updated rules that were put out before Christmas. I know Susan sent them out to the parents before Christmas about following the city guideline in the sense of proof of vaccination is needed for admittance into the meet for spectators, and obviously wearing masks while being spectators in the stands will be mandatory as well for both the Friday and Saturday competitions next week. For those of you who are cleared and are training right now and everything, I will be updating the schedule tomorrow morning in the sense of just Friday and Saturday for practices and things like that. And as some of you go through your heart screenings and everything as you come back from your quarantines later this week, we'll talk to you about practices and how we're coming back and all that kind of stuff. Okay. Is there any questions about the competitions or the meets or anything like that? Okay. The next thing is that, we saw last week the CDC come out with the recommendation of a 5-day isolation for a positive, and then going into a 5-day wearing a mask, being able to be outside or being able to be out and doing those kind of things for those who are asymptomatic and everything else. That doesn't really change too much with what we have to do in our sport. And this is coming from the state of Illinois and their medical direction for athletics and everything else. And so if someone tests positive, and this just came out last night, so this is new as of last night. It's a 5-day isolation and then 5 days of wearing a mask. Now, because the mandate of wearing that mask for the second week of the quarantine, that still means that you cannot swim because swimming involves taking off your mask around other people. So really, if we look at it moving forward, if people test positive, it's still going to really be a 10-day quarantine. And so that's something that we need to be mindful of and trying to stay safe as we kind of go through the rest of the season, that we're still looking at people being out of the water for 10 days. Now, the nice thing is that you'll have 5 days of the quarantine and then the 5 days of wearing the mask. You'll be able to do cardio outside of the water. You'll be able to lift and do things like that where you're able to properly wear a mask. You'll also be able to get your negative tests in as well as your heart screening. So on that 10th day, you're able to get back in the water, and it's not taking any longer than needed with those kind of things, okay? So that's kind of where we're at with the new rules and the updates and the protocols that we need to follow for those type of things. As we go through it, we continue to kind of follow what we have been. It's the quarantine, working with the trainers and the doctors, and then the heart screenings and everything else. I can tell you this much, it's gonna take some time as we still figure things out this week, because student athletes are starting to come back and we're seeing the positive rates jump up in every program. I was talking to one head coach this afternoon, and his team's out of season, and as they're coming back, he's already seen about 30% of his team positive as well. So we're seeing the cases as we expected of people going home and then coming back to campus. Cases are rising at a significant rate. It's part of the reason why the university decided these first few weeks of class will stay online, to try to minimize any threat within classrooms, kind of let these cases go back down before people will go back to class. Ashley is in the process right now for the swimmers of putting all your class schedules into Teamworks. So we have everything, or no, sorry, not your class schedules, your practice schedules into Teamworks once school starts next week. So you guys will be able to see all those kind of things. If you're someone who has like class conflicts with certain practice schedules, and you know already that a class will be asynchronous for whether it's the first 2 weeks, or maybe they've already said, hey, for the first half of the semester, let her know, because that can help with scheduling and we can get ahead of that, especially for those of you who are trying to get the amount of practices needed in. It's just going to help plan better. So if you know ahead of time, remember, the schedules we get, we can't see on there if they're synchronous, asynchronous, if they're going to go back in person or stay online. We need your guys' help with that so we can plan properly with all those kind of things. But basically, we're taking this week in the sense of, okay, let's deal with all the positive cases we have. Let's get everyone back on track. The people who are negative, we're very fortunate to have that group, and they've been training really well the last few days. And Nash, you're talking about, and I were talking about how good the afternoons went today, and we're excited, keep them on track and getting everyone else back in. But also as coaches, we need to now look in the sense of like, okay, we've got 6-7 weeks of the season left. How do we rework things to make sure that we're still going to be able to set ourselves up for success at the end of the season? And that's part of why we, worked with the doctors in this weekend, is because we need to look at the bigger picture of everything. Now, there is a possibility, and I've already talked to 1 or 2 coaches about possibly adding on another competition towards the end of the season, maybe just a small dual meet or something to give people another opportunity to race. But we're fortunate that next week we've got a very good program in Southern Illinois coming on Friday, who is at the top of their conference competitions, and Green Bay, who always gives us a great dual meet. And so we'll get some really good races there. And then the weekend after that, we've got University of Chicago. That's now a top 3 Division III program in the country. And so we will get good competition with these meets. We'll try to add one wherever we can. But the biggest thing of all, guys, is we need to minimize the risk. We need to take care of ourselves and continue to do what we do. So please wear the masks in the buildings, wear the mask when you're around other people, be smart about where you need to go. Realize that today as well, January 3rd, in Cook County, and especially the city of Chicago, most places, or actually every place, should be requiring you to show proof of vaccination if you're going to eat inside or go see a movie or do whatever else. And so realize that, there are certain things going on, but there is no talk at all about shutting us down for the season or canceling the end of the season or anything like that. This is just, hey, we need to take a minor step back right now to let this team regroup, get back together, and then finish up the season together that way. And that's the way we're looking at it, and finding out what's best for this team. So any questions about anything I talked about at all? Let's see, I got a few. Beth, are we going to reschedule the meet for a later date? That's all going to kind of depend on the other schools and what dates they have available. So I will have to wait to hear back from them, but I would not count on it as there's a lot of moving parts with travel and logistics and hotels and all those kind of things. And so, most of this is planned 7 months in advance. And so it's kind of hard just to jump other ones where I can get some other local teams that can come in, that can drive and not have to stay overnight and that kind of stuff. So it's going to take probably about a week or so to get that all squared away and figure out, but we will keep you guys updated the moment we start to hear anything about a rescheduling or an added competition to the season. So any other questions at all? All right, guys. Well, for those of you at home, I hope you're feeling better. I hope that you guys are all staying safe and being well. And let's make sure that we start out, this first week next year with the school year off on the right foot. If you need anything from Sam, he is back, so please reach out to him. And everyone else, let's just get ready to make the most of the second semester, all right? All right, guys, have a good night. Some of you, I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. The rest of you, take care, and I'll see you soon. All right, bye.